Hey, good evening. Welcome out to Green Acre Farms. Today is going to be potatoes. It's been a minute since we've come out here and done a video. I have been making progress on the farm. We got some rows put in, some soil amendments done. So today we're going to work on the no-dig potato garden. Now, it's called a no-dig garden, but that don't mean you won't be using a shovel. You're gonna be using a shovel. Whatever. If it was that simple, they would call it nothing potato garden or whatever. So it is a no dig potato garden, but you will be using a shovel. So let's get right into this. I'm gonna show you guys how to plant a potato seed. So this is how we do our no dig potato garden, and basically my approach to this is use what you got. We ain't got time to be trying to be picky in times like this. Besides, the second thing, it's a garden, and you don't put fancy stuff in gardens. So you get what you can get and use it to your best ability. So now I have some potatoes here that I started at home in a closet in a little dish with some water. You can see some of these have established roots on them. The blue potatoes, we got golden. All these are golden and these are blue. So what you want to do when you're going to make the seed, so I'm gonna tell you right now, these golden potatoes right here, these are organic potatoes. We've got these at Smith's at the supermarket. They're sitting in my closet, and all I can see is potato plants when I see the eyes start to form on them. So believe me, I ate the rest of those potatoes, but I took off them. I salvaged what I could as far as seed, and this is what you call basically a potato seed. That right there, that's a potato seed. It has the eyes where the stems are starting to form. You got your root system here forming there, and so basically that's a potato seed. Now you normally find this stuff on a whole potato, so everybody knows back in the day when your potatoes went in the closet, they started to grow. You didn't know why, but it's from the lack of light, because they grow under the dirt. So nowadays they put what they call inhibitors, sprouting inhibitors on them, so it prevents the potatoes from sprouting. So if you're going to do this, you're going to try this, don't just grab a regular potato from the store. You got to get an organic potato and make sure that you can spot some eyes on it so you can eat them, and then you can plant them later. So I'm going to show you how we do it. Just picture if this was a whole potato, but it's not. But as you see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 sprouts coming off of here. So we virtually have 4 plants on here. There's 4 potato plants. You get anywhere from I think it's I don't want to say anything wrong, but you get anywhere from 5 to 8 potatoes per plant. So I think out of 2 pounds of potato seeds, you get about 50 pounds of potatoes out of that. So you just take your knife, whatever knife you're using, and you cut that section out right there, and you can plant that. Now since I started these at home, I start them in the closet, I start them in a little bit of water. I used a couple drops of bleach to control the fungus that will form on these. So I'm just going to cut another plant off of here. Just go right through it right there. Got a nice little chunk there. I can either cut this in half and get 2 plants, but I'm going to leave those 2 there and let it sprout, and then I have that one there. So there's about 40. I lost count of these. What is it, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, so somewhere around 45 plants here. We have some plants established in the garden right here. Now I'm going to show you this right here. See that? I planted a few weeks ago. Now under here is wood chip. So we got straw. Now this is not really straw. This is wild grass and weeds that was growing on the 40 last year that just died off. So, but up under here is soil. So the potatoes actually planted in soil, and then it just comes up through all this mulch and stuff. And there's a good chance we'll get potatoes in that mulch. But there you go. That's like I think that's a golden potato, or maybe a russet. So, and then we just cover it up like that, and it stays moist, mulched, and they'll come up through this, through the weed material here. So let's just move down here a little bit, move these over. Now, here is a different application. So I did mostly like a composted soil right up under, and I used some, oh, what are those trees? Juniper tree. So there's juniper tree mulch in there and soil. So the potatoes are planted down in that bed, and then I came across with this grass, this wild grass. I can show you that right here. I got a stack of it. Me and Boston got a stack of this today. This is just wild grass. We harvested off the 40. I went next door and stole some from Joel. This is over from last year, and I'm going to use that on top of everything once to mulch, and then we'll get a little bit more soil on top of that. And what I got up under here now, if you're doing a no dig garden, a lot of people like to start with newspaper as a base, and also cardboard. They'll put some corrugated paper down there. I don't like the corrugated board because it has glue on it. And we grew corn last year. I had this stuff laying around, so I tossed the corn husks or the corn stalks and whatnot down there to serve as a base for the potatoes, or for the soil. Now what's going to happen over the season is this stuff actually break down and start producing nutrients, like a time release thing there. So that's what I'm hoping for anyway. And it's going to enrich the soil that's under it. So I like to start with that layer there. And I'm just going to do like a demo real quick. So I'm going to do a little patch here to show you guys how we're doing this potato project. So this is the soil mix I made earlier. This is, like I said, this is a mixture of sheep manure, mushroom compost, perlite, and topsoil. Now, if you use mushroom compost, you got to know that it's a very hot compost. And what I mean by hot is when this stuff sits and it's got the moisture in it, then the microbes get really active in it, and they start to chew at this stuff, and they deteriorate this. They break it down. Well, you get kind of like a chemical reaction from that, and it creates heat. So what happens is, if you were to throw this mushroom compost down straight into the soil and plant in it, it's going to heat up and start composting. So that heating process is composting process. You got active microbes, you got oxygen, and you got all these elements working together to make this stuff into really good planting material. But it's not always good, especially if it goes hot. Now the sheep manure is a cold composting material, meaning that it won't heat up like the mushroom compost. Now the mushroom compost is made of straw, and like I said, a couple of the plant meals like alfalfa meal and whatnot. It's sterilized, it is pasteurized, and then it's aged, and then it's sold as a compost material. And like I said, the sheep manure should balance it out and prevent it from heating up in the soil as well. And so there's azomite and perlite in here. And so without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and throw some of this on top of that corn stalk, and then you guys can see how I'm gonna plant these potatoes real quick. Don't be shy with this stuff. Make sure you got a good healthy layer of it. So there it is, just on top of the corn stalk. Okay, so we have a little bed right here of material, and I'm gonna just have this overlap all the way to this part of the grow over here too, so you can see like it's consistent all the way across. So I'm gonna go down in this a couple inches, just below, just above where the bed of corn stalk is. And then I like to put my potatoes probably about 18 inches apart. So I'll check over here, see if there's anything under here. There's one there, so I can start with a potato right here, but I don't think that's a good spot, so I'm just going to move it over a little bit. So I did have a sprout coming up right here, that's visible, so I'm just going to move it over a little bit, grab one of these here spuds. So there's my little hole. I'm digging it with my hand. It's probably about 3 inches deep. I'll get one that I like, a golden, and you see that start on it already, so that'll break through in a couple few days. Now you also want to have some water over here, so you can put water down, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to water a whole section when I'm finished. So before I put all the straw and stuff on here, I'll water it. So just want to, and then I just guesstimating the distance in between them. And doesn't matter what potatoes you put where. You can put blues down, you can put your goldens down in a row and say, hey, I got all golden right there. So this is kind of like close to the edge, so hopefully we're not gonna have it spread. You know what, actually I'm just gonna move it because it is a little close to the edge there. So let's move it a little bit. I'll move this one out a little bit. There, you gotta be gentle with them. Oops, see, like me, gentle. Knock the doggone thing around. Let me get this right. Get it right, Glendo. Okay, so these are moved out to there, and like these are really super strong plants. You can see that root growth on there. They've been out of the water for a minute, but they'll be okay. They're a little dry, so I can get about 3 of these in here. So there we go with the 3, and then we would cover everything. Okay, and then water. Or, you know, some people like to instruct you to put water in the hole before you put your new plant in there. These are kind of bare roots, so even with the moisture in the dirt, if I didn't water, they're still gonna sprout. So that's basically how you do your potatoes. And we're gonna go ahead and get the rest of these in the ground, and we'll join you guys later to wrap this thing up. But just wanted to show you how easy it is to plant the potato, how to cut them, how to get your starts and everything. Like I said, I soaked these in water at the house before I brought them out, and they just went crazy as far as the roots go. So the roots will reach and stretch out towards the water source, but you don't want to put them in a whole lot of water for a long time because they will rot. Some of them will rot on you, so be real careful. You got to keep an eye on these things. I check them in the morning, I check them in the night. I have a sprayer, I spray them, keep them moist, make sure my roots are developing properly. And yeah, so it's a really simple plant. Thank you for watching. We'll be back later to wrap this up and tell you guys how it went. A little later in the evening. Welcome back. Hey, so I went ahead and I finished out this portion of the no-dig garden. I just basically added more soil across the top, and then I came through and it got a good watering. So I put goldens, I put all the blues down, and then some more golden down. And now I'm gonna go ahead and show you how we cover it. And I'm gonna cover it with this straw here. It's pretty simple. What's so cool is that this straw was free. Oh, it was so free. So you just want to place it on top. It's going to serve as your mulch. Actually, you know what? I'm going to turn this because of the wind. I don't need the wind getting it from that angle and picking it up and tossing it. It will, so I'll probably end up throwing a little soil on top just to keep this straw in place. So I'm just going to take another bunch of it and dispatch it on out. Now some of this stuff has like existing soil on it, which is awesome. It doesn't matter. At the ends when we picked it, still has some dirt. All it's going to do is help us grow more big giant food. And some of this have live grass in it. That grass will die, or it'll live, or it'll serve as a mulch here. So basically just want to get it covered up. So I'm kind of thin down here on this end with it. That's okay. I have some material I can use. I'm gonna go grab a fistful real quick. I'll be right back. So here we go. I just raked this up yesterday out from between some rabbit brush. So that'll serve as a nice layer of mulch for this section here of the patch. And it will match just about everything else. But you want to get everything covered. Now, the potato plant is a pretty hardy plant. It's a strong plant. It will grow through this stuff. So you don't have to worry about that. It goes for the light. So that's a good layer. It's a couple inches of straw and it's a few inches of this. It's just weed material. There's no seed in it, so it's not gonna grow back and grow weeds, but it will help the farm in the future as, you know, this area gets richer and richer as we continue to grow here and fertilize and amend the soil. So there you go. Potato planting 101. Pretty doggone simple. Save you some money. So like I said, if you go into the grocery store and you buy the organic potatoes, you're gonna get those things, they'll sprout and you get to eat them. So they got like a double impact on you. So you can't lose with like organic potatoes. So you just want to be careful with the food that you do get. If a potato has an anti-budding agent on it, like what's in that stuff to make this thing not bud anymore? Potatoes naturally bud. So this didn't come along for a while. I know my whole childhood potatoes just grew in the closet. Everybody who's my age or older knows that. Very easy, like I said, to grow. So we're gonna wrap it up here, and if you have any questions, let us know. Reach out to us. Check us out on YouTube, Green Acre Farms in Southern Utah. Like, subscribe, and share.